Hey, this is Justin. It is Sunday, January 3rd, 2013. My neck thing's all messed up here. Look at this. It's snowing pretty bad here. I got this in case I have to wear a mask. All right, that's a good start. Some of the audio there. Yep, so we'll share some of the ideas rattling around inside the head, get them outside the head and into a place where they could potentially be useful. And just watching YouTube, watching some professional wrestling from the 80s. Let's get this thing down. This thing's getting annoying. All right, there we go. Looks a little bit better. Watched some professional wrestling from the 80s. And saw an ad, Oribi, I believe it's called, Oribi.io, which is a Google Analytics alternative. I've been loving messing around with Google Analytics and actually seeing with my new site. I haven't had a site in a while where I really track the analytics. And it's just really awesome to see kind of how people are interacting with the sites and what they're going to create. This live, or eventually I'll strip out the audio message. It'll turn into a podcast, and this will show up here, up there as well as a place for people to be able to connect and interact. So, yep, going on these walk and talks, pulling up some images. Really excited about the possibilities of working with the images. How are you? Oop. How are you? I think it's Rachel. How are you, Rachel? I try to remember. Look at the picture a little bit there. Welcome. Yep. So doing a little bit of walk in the woods, share some idea, grabbing some of the images to see where there is. Just some of the things I want to talk about. They've looked at some of the 100 images that we've looked at over the last couple of days. Then I'm walking to meet the kids for sledding in a minute. So do a hard break on this one, and let's see. I'm going to flip the camera around so I can have it down so I don't have to look at it. How do I flip it? Flipped. So then we get it to the ground. All right, perfect. And we'll focus on some of the images here. Come on, images. Taking photos. Yep. All right, what we got? Oh, this is cool. Business card. It's perfect. Maggie, you can just see it here. I think this actually just speaks for itself. But it's a business card that starts to capture all the different aspects of who somebody is and what they're working on in a very intuitive way. Don't know who has got a physical business card these days, but fun way to be able to capture some of the business cards. What else do we have? Here's the oatmeals. Walking and talking. Let's do
just done my first video for my Facebook group I made in a real hurry so that we can all talk about this process of walking and talking. My legs are so numb because I had to kneel. I had to put the phone in a tree and then kneel down. So just done my first video for my Facebook group I made in a real hurry so that we can all talk about this process of walking and talking. My legs are so numb because I had to kneel. I had to put the phone in a tree.
So let's talk about this. Okay, I don't want to grab that. Let me grab my little bit of food here. Let's talk about that one a little bit. Walking and talking. I believe her name is Leanne. I haven't actually heard her speak her name yet. She does, she's starting a walking and talking movement. So I've been starting to create some more of the videos, walking and talking. She was saying one of the big challenges is when you record, there's not a great way to be able to hold up the phone. So that's why I've got I was calling it a neck desk. I think I'm going to call it a walking desk right now. It's around my neck, so I don't have to hold on to the phone. Now I can be looking forward, except for the times when I go and change to another image. So it's a little bit of a better way to be able to operate and to brainstorm, but also to have a little bit of an outline for some of the stuff that we are working on and that we are creating and building. All right. Here's another one. Let's just talk. Let me do another one.
Yeah. So I walk and talk. See my best friend now. It's me. That wasn't always the case. And that's what it's done. This whole process has really changed me. 1 month has done this. So I'm really excited about January because who knows what'll come out the other end. But what it's done, it's kind of, I think, opened up an opportunity for people who don't enjoy writing, who find journaling quite challenging. Because I found I could say more, think more, understand more, get to the bottom of things, because I'm talking. It doesn't take that long. You just talk. And then when I get home, my journal is more like a summary. I love mind maps. I love scratching, and I'm not very neat. Yes. So when I go home, I just...
Let's talk about this. So journaling, yes. So my walk and talks journey started when I read the book Accidental Genius by Mark Levy. using free writing as access to your greatest thoughts. And so that's the right point, right? If you do some journaling, writing on a one-for-one basis is a better exercise. It's an easier exercise. It's a more powerful exercise. But I'm journaling right now. I'm going to be able to cover this cover quite a bit of the stuff that I'm brainstorming and talking about. What else I'd be doing is just walking in the woods, which is valuable as well. I don't have the ability to be able to journal now. Now, on the back end of this video, I'll have the opportunity to transcribe it, share it different places, pull it apart in some of the different components, and that's the beauty of being able to do the walking and talking. So now, what I discovered during the summer, if I do a little bit of a focus on the feet, that's self-preserving. It'd be better if the focus for the particular event, the focus is on me and my face, but I have to hold up the desk to be able to do it. So now I can just be present, except for the times when I change off in the world. So as I'm speaking here, I'm looking up, and right, I'm looking up even though that you're looking down. So be able to create that experience at some point in time. But it's my new favorite way to be able to brainstorm and to do some work. And it's pretty safe to say that there will be a fall at some point in time. Not today. I'm on one of these because there are some slippery areas. So I might slip at some point in time with one of these. All right, here we go. Gyroscope, my new favorite measuring tool. The other piece of this is you can't necessarily see it here, but voice controls on the phone. What you can do is you can do a Hey Siri command. I'm not going to do it right now. You can activate voice controls on your phone. This is an iPhone specific thing. And then you can actually, what it'll do is it'll pull up a menu of numbers on your phone. And then when you call out that number, it will click on that one specifically. So big challenge for me right now is I can't type that much. It's not that cold today. It just snowed, but a lot of days it's pretty frigid. There's not really good gloves for being able to type. So I do have my stylus in my hand to be able to, there you go, I got my stylus there and the gloves. But I don't want to be doing a ton of typing. Plus it's a slowdown, right? I want to be able to get to where I'm going more quickly. So the voice controls are a way to be able to control. This gyroscope app, what I do is I do my mood check every morning, just a little bit check-in. It gives me 39 cards. And when I do the voice control, it will, I say 2 when I was like, that's a negative card, or 4 when it's a positive card, like a card that's going to be going to the right. You have no idea what I'm talking about here, if I can see the visual. But I can use voice controls to be able to check in on my mood pretty quickly. Never have to touch the screen. It takes a little bit longer than touching the screen, but there's no cognitive load on the work. So you can literally just go 2, 4 all day. And it's almost like watching TV to be able to create. So I want to be able to do this for activities. Like I take a bunch of different screenshots. It's like, I want to do something with this, or this one's actionable, or this one's like, hey, this is an idea, or this is an inspiration, and be able to sift and sort cards pretty quickly and then have some metadata that sticks on the back end of those cards on the back end. So we'll have like a gyroscope-like interface. We're like, we're going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're going to do this. This is inspiring. I want to do this, but it's a little bit hard. Like there was a video that I covered yesterday in my walk and talk. Somebody was just like, hey, I bought this duplex, or not duplex, it was an eightplex, octoplex, we'll call it. She bought this thing. She was like, I put $200,000 down. Got a mortgage for $750,000. There were 2 units that were empty. And, hello, Rowena. Happy New Year. There were 2 units that were empty. I refurbished those units. Then I refinanced it for $1 million. I pulled out $240,000. And, so I got my original $200,000 back. And, then I had a mortgage for this amount. And now it's cash flow positive, right? Something I'd like to do. It's not necessarily that easily accessible right now, right? Especially in the walking and talking, it takes a little bit more effort. So, something that, potentially might be something to work on 21 to replicate something like that, or to partner on something like that. But it's a little bit further away. But, so that's one. I was like, hey, I want to do something with that. But it's not too complicated, but it takes more effort than other things, right? We're going to look at things against each other, like in comparison, right? It's much easier to, as I said, much easier to walk and talk, and to be able to create and share ideas like this. All right, let's go on to the next one here. What do we got going on here? This is actually interesting. WATM, which is walk and take meetings, which I think is pretty cool. I don't like going to people's comments, pushing an agenda on something, but I like this is a little bit synchronous. I think there's two different values of synchronicity, right? There's like, you have to be in the same place at the same time scheduled. There's happenstance where you can be in the same place at the same time, like this. Nobody knew I was recording this. I didn't know I was going to be doing this right now. Going live. People were listening. They got some notification. They're like, it's valuable for me to jump into the conversation and listen right now. So they're here. So that's synchronous but not scheduled. And then there's asynchronous, whereas you can have a conversation with people asynchronously. I do it over Yak. So if you connect with me, yak.com/Justin F, we can have a conversation. And it occurs like a meeting. You respond when you respond. I respond when I respond. People are like, this is like voice notes back and forth. But it actually, the cadence of it starts to have it create and starts to work like a meeting. So that's an interesting one. Here is another inspiring. I'm going through walking and talking on LinkedIn, all the walking and talking posts on LinkedIn. And why do Adam's his first name? Oh, this is embarrassing. Here we go. Adam Johnson. Yep, here it is. Adam Johnson's doing walking and talking. He's got a fund. And so here's the interesting thing. He's got a newsletter. It's $45, I think, for 45 days or 90 days, and it's $240 a quarter after that. The fund was way up last year. It does some suggestions of some stock picks. So really cool thing. I'm not going to be investing in equities for a couple of different reasons, but I'm interested in what he's doing because he's speaking to me in my language. He's speaking to me in walk and talk. Gives me a little bit of nostalgia for stuff. It looks like he's in downtown Manhattan. But I'm not sure. He's definitely in Manhattan. But, it's something that I recommend. I was like, there's part of me that actually wants to be back in Manhattan doing some of this stuff. Not in the woods, but doing it in the city, in the wild, and having conversations with people. And that was inspiring, right? Because he spoke to me on my terms. And I talked about it. It's a recording I did a couple of days ago when I worked at Citigroup. Chief Learning Officer, Cameron Hedrick, he would go on he would do podcasts. And that was speaking... it felt like he was speaking directly to me when he was in this podcast. So I don't really know Adam, but I created a video. I don't know him at all, actually. All I know is he does walk and talks. He doesn't know me, but there's a level of relationship that gets built because people doing the walking and talking that I feel like I know him a little bit better than our relationship would. The amount of time that we spent together and knowing each other, right? And I just recorded him a video. So there's a familiarity and there's an intimacy that gets built with people that do things that are a little bit more similar to the stuff that you're doing on. So big fan. I sent him a video this morning, just sharing, just a little like DM. I'll play a little bit of it. DM from
Hey Adam, this is Justin. Thanks so much for connecting on LinkedIn. Really appreciate it. I found you. I was really inspired. I've been doing walking and talking for about 8 months. So I just went through LinkedIn yesterday. Everybody was doing walking and talking. I used to work in downtown Manhattan, so it looks
actively
like
moving
by City Hall on some of those. So just love it. We moved to Pennsylvania for at least temporarily during COVID out into the snow.
How are you actively moving?
A couple of different things.
If I know you by name, please identify yourself by name or else I can check it out. Hope somebody's probably
my wife is a partner.
Playing a little bit of a similar game. So I hope you came through the conflict that goes. But if we know each other outside of this, please let me know.
If there's any other.
All right, let's talk about vision boards. I went back today. So what I started doing yesterday was taking my pictures. Pictures are a really quick way. Like I capture a lot during the day, and I'm constantly looking for ways to be able to resurface this information. This is one of those, right? I go through my pictures and I was like, now I get a second look at some of the stuff that I was doing and I get to actually talk about it, and then I can sort of gauge the level of interest. So I have about 100 pictures from yesterday. Some are family stuff, a bunch of different screenshots, and want to come up with a way to be able to process these things really quickly, to be able to get them tagged up and to be able to work with. And I was talking to my coach, Dan, this morning, asynchronously over Yak, and I was like, how do I want to put together some of my sketches from the morning and then put them, that'll come up in a minute here, put together some of my sketches from the morning and be able to share them in one image. And I went back to the Hay House app, which is really great from vision boarding. It just reminded me, I created this vision board Nicole Carr and Rafael Moreno did a vision boarding workshop on, I can't believe it was 4 years ago already, January 1st, 2017, created this vision board, and most things came true on this one. The one I don't even see the top left, but being able to lead workshops, that was something that was not accessible at that point in time. That's what I did for the last 2.5 years of work, is I led, workshops live for people. We called them jam sessions, really fun events to be able to work through. Now, this is the thing that I'm most passionate about, brainstorming out loud and then doing it in a way I'm imagining people aren't watching live. They're popping in, saying hello, getting a little bit of a jolt of inspiration or whatever could potentially matter to them, and then going back and doing their lives in the way that they want to do. That's the whole idea. Or listening to it on podcasts. We'll see how the quality is for the podcast stuff. But that was one of the little pieces, one of the things to think about. Strides app. I'm not going to go too through. I don't think it's too much here. Let me just actually go through here. The vision board, this one actually came through a little bit weird. It's coming through a little bit strange on here. I think just the way I captured the image is a little bit strange. Yeah, this one's a little bit better. Yeah, this one's a little bit better. So I just pulled my images, my morning sketches together into an image. Now I get to talk over these. So what I've started to create is something that's like forward thinking, a top 20 list of things that we could be doing or working on, doing a brainstorm that way. Also, here's the stuff that I've got to get done. These are like commitments, and these are a little bit more like things that I owe to people or things that I've committed to work with. So like yesterday, we got new phones from AT&T. We had to return our phones. So that was one of the things that, we worked on yesterday, returning some of the phones. And so that was a commitment, right? That wasn't like a forward thinking or an actively planning thing. Can I follow actively morning here? I want to know who you are. Go live with... Oh, actually, I can go live. That's cool. I can do ping people to go live with them or invite them to come on to live. That's a good bonus. Hey Siri, capture screenshot. Siri's not going to do it. I got to take this off. I don't have the voice controls on here. All right. So I lost my train of thought there for a second. And then when I did that, got the new screenshot that'll sort of memorialize this event. I'm going a little bit wandery here. We're about to get to the place that we want to get to. This is cool. Gigantic vintage toy collection from the 80s. I've always sort of been excited about like pulling up some of these tools. It's an hour and a half away, so I'm not going to be going to get it. Where are some of the... Oop! I hear somebody yelling. Some more Hay House stuff, the children's book. I'm going to be ending this session right here. Hello! I hear the sledding hill coming. I'm not going to involuntarily include other people in these lives, so I'm going to head off here for a second. But thanks to anybody who has been listening, either live or unlive or in any way. Do appreciate. We're going to, on the back end of this, I'm going to take this video. I'll upload it in a couple of different places. Going to get it transcribed, break apart some of the pieces, do a whole bunch of different little messing around. So let me see here. Here is that's the wrong way. Should have stayed on that one. There's the hill. We're heading off there. Have an amazing day, and we will speak soon.